So Franky's on some pimp shit and the Tontattas are annoying as ever. This week's chapter kind of displayed probably one of the only problems that I feel the One Piece manga has, and that's definitely the slow pacing and those chapters where it feels like barely anything happened. For the most part, this chapter focused on the Franky versus Senor Pink fight, and we really didn't get any progression in that because after him like getting bopped, he gets back up and it's like, hey, let's fight again. So there was really no progression in there. It was funny, and this chapter was pretty fucking hilarious, but ultimately the progression side of things, it was like, aside from like a revelation and Franky looking badass, that's really all we got with this chapter. It was like, it was funny and entertaining, but we didn't really cover much ground. And I mean, at this particular point, how fucking long is Luffy and the crew going to the castle? I mean, the pacing, I noticed recently, definitely has slowed down quite a bit. And I thought with last week's chapter, for the most part, the Zoro versus Pika fight was going to be cutting down because it seemed as though, you know, he fucked his shit up. And I thought maybe Zoro would, like, take him out in the next chapter pretty easily, like, you know, finish him off. But it seems as though Pika's got a second wind and is, like, back to normal. This chapter kind of just went steps backwards, where it's like, yet again, nothing really happened. Pika's still ready to go. Senor Pink, after getting, like, kind of bopped in this one, he gets back up and is ready to go. So, not that much ground covered. We got that Kanjuro and Kinemon are letting those people go down. So, I guess that's one of the only big progressions I'd say we have. But I gotta talk quickly about that Franky and Senor Pink stuff, because when Franky was like, the way he treated that one chick, the warden, which at first she kind of reminded me of like a comedic version of Magellan, like, you know, the guard, like, you ain't getting by here. But he was on some pimp shit, kissing her in the mouth to shut her up, and he's like, don't be so like a love drunk teen. It's like, that shit makes me sick. Him and Mr. Hardboiled there, Senor Pink, I was like, bro, these are some fucking pimp ass motherfuckers. I like these guys. So as far as the entertainment value of it, it was enjoyable, and I did laugh, and I thought Franky was fucking awesome, and it was cool to get a little bit of spotlight. But I would have liked, at the very least, if he would have took Senor Pink out in this one, knocked him out or something. Like when he did that suplex on the chicken, collided heads with him, I thought, okay, at least Senor Pink is going to be down. We got some progression. We covered some ground, but we didn't even really do that. It was just mainly, you know, funny. And honestly, the biggest thing we really did get in this chapter was finding out that Princess Manchetti has some sort of ability that Doflamingo really wants, and they can use it as well. So being a Tontatta, it makes me wonder what possible ability does this Princess Manchetti have that they can both use. I honestly, nothing comes to mind other than like maybe they can use her to help with the factory, or I honestly don't know. But in all honesty, with this week's chapter, I felt there could have been a lot more done, and I think that, I don't know if they're purposely having Oda do things this way so that way the anime can incorporate filler into these bits, but we really don't need to see the Tontattas, you know, bumbling about and, oh, that room says we can't go in there, we shouldn't go in there. It comes to a point where it's like, what the fuck is going on? Nothing happened. And while I can get a laugh or two out of the Franky stuff, that shouldn't be the focal point of a chapter, especially like me coming into review. It's like, Franky was funny, Manchetti has an ability that they can use, and yeah, Bartolomeo's still jizzing over how awesome Zoro is. We know how awesome Zoro is, bro. You don't gotta keep on pushing it. So yeah, definitely gotta say this week's chapter of One Piece for the most part was underwhelming. Funny, but that's really all it provided, and I really hope that this isn't due to the new editor that Oda recently got. I think he paired up once again with one of his old editors, and while it's cool to have some entertainment, things should be happening while things is going on, and it shouldn't just be like all played up for a laugh. So I hope this isn't the direction that its editor's trying to take him. Like, yeah, we're gonna have like 5 straight chapters of just comedy and stuff like that, and nothing's gonna happen. That way we can keep One Piece going and have the anime, you know, fall a little bit further behind from the manga, stuff like that. I really hope that's not the case, because this chapter was like, not much happened. So I'm gonna give this one like a 3 out of 10 for the most part. It did have the little revelation with Manchetti, and the Franky stuff was funny, but yeah, we definitely need a lot more than that. And this is very similar to the chapter that we had 2 weeks ago, and I hope that we don't continue on this path. But let me know what you guys think. First of all, what do you think is Princess Manchetti's ability? Do you think that it has something to do with fighting? Like, what could it possibly be, and why is Doflamingo so going after it so much? Also, what do you think about Franky and Senor Pink? I honestly thought that was the highlight, because it was just hilarious how they were being so pimp and at the same time bossing out. And your overall thoughts of the chapter, honestly, pretty underwhelming, and I hope next week is a way better. Like, let's go back to that Fujitora and Sabo. Let's get more of that Zoro versus Pika. Not like this diaper slinging motherfucker and these Tontattas, because at this point it's like, please get the fucking Tontattas out of my face. Thank you. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, you can do so as well. That'd be awesome. I'm Finette World, and as always, people, have an awesome day. So Franky's on some pimp shit, and the Tontattas are annoying as ever. This week's chapter kind of displayed probably one of the only problems that I feel the One Piece manga has, and that's definitely the slow pacing and those chapters where it feels like barely anything happened. For the most part, this chapter focused on the Franky versus Senor Pink fight, and we really didn't get any progression in that, because after him getting bopped, he gets back up and it's like, hey, let's fight again. So there was really no progression in there. It was funny, and this chapter was pretty fucking hilarious, but ultimately the progression side of things, it was like, aside from a revelation and Franky looking badass, that's really all we got with this chapter. It was funny and entertaining, but we didn't really cover much ground. And I mean, at this particular point, how fucking long is Luffy and the crew going to the castle? I mean, the pacing, I noticed recently, definitely has slowed down quite a bit. And I thought with last week's chapter, for the most part,